So people come to you and sometimes they'll say, well, I already have device identity. And you know, because we've been working so hard on this and we have a picture of the whole, talking to all these different people, you know that that's probably not a complete solution that they're talking about. And when you dig in, what do you learn? What are people doing right now to try to solve this problem?
They're doing their best. But yeah, again, it's a hard. I mean, the stuff that we hear, um, it's all over the map.
It's sort of painful to hear these stories, right?
Yeah, it's pain. It's toil. It's toil. It's pain. It's under resourced. Again, it's what I want to make clear is like I understand why things are the way they are. Like the people who are working on these problems are not the problem, right? Like again, small teams, big companies, limited resources, and then the entire context of like the problem is um, that um, the incentives in industry are not to create good solutions for people. They're like what's the least that we can do to extract the most money from our enterprise customers. I think that's how companies like Google are looking at this problem.
Mm.
Um, and so you know we hear just last week we had somebody um, come to us, and they wanted they actually came inbound, and what they wanted was they said, "Hey, we already have device identity. Actually, all we need is a SCEP server. We don't like the one that we have. We just need a new one."
And you're like, like, what's going on here?
What are you doing? What's going on here? And come to find out, they're using static SCEP, right? So we talked about that earlier, single password. They're aware of the security issues with static skip. So to address those security issues, what they were doing is sort of running a security ceremony once a year to issue new certificates to all of their devices in bulk. So they sort of set aside. I think it's like when they have their all hands, everybody comes together, so all the devices are
Like they're
there,
all in person doing this,
and they're manually sort of
manually doing this with
making
each device.
sure that only
Okay.
the intended devices are being enrolled, right? Because it's static SCEP, and they don't have any better controls than that. That I mean, right there is just like ooh, woof. I mean, I get what you're doing, like, but that's painful. That's a lot of work. Um, so we're like, well, what if you didn't have to do that? What if you could just remotely? Oh, didn't know that was possible. Yeah, let's do that. So got them sort of thinking about Acme device attestation, better way of doing this, sort of replacing that ceremony. And then the next question is like, all right, once these certificates are issued, what are you using them for? And find out they're using them um, to connect to internal services via a proxy. It's a pretty common use case scenario, like internal web apps, right? A ZTNA relay, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Hmm.
and so it's browser client certificate authentication. So next question, how are you setting up, configuring your browser clients? And the person on the other end of the call kind of like smiled knowingly, and they were like, well, it's a script. And I said, do you like this script? And they were like, well, you know, it works. And then I remembered earlier in the conversation that they had, this is sort of similar to the Linux conversation, right? They had uh, uh, consolidated on using Chrome uh,
Hmm.
enterprise wide. So I was like, you mentioned that you're standardizing on the Chrome browser. Is that because the script only configures Chrome? And they were like, yeah, yeah, it is.
Hmm.
Um, so uh, I'm biased. I'm gonna insert pitches here or there. Like we have the technology, we have user space technology to do Acme device attestation and to configure the client software to do device identity cross platform, cross browser, any operating system. That's the mess that people are reinventing the
Yeah.
wheel and put it like sort of like bubble gum and shoestringing things together,
Hmm.
um, and doing the best that they have with the resources that they have, but the result is invariably something that has a bunch of gaps, and even the pieces that work only kind of work, and nobody's really happy with it. And again, it's not the fault of the people. It's just that this is undifferentiated, hard engineering work um, that it doesn't make sense to invest in it at a level that we can, because we're trying to solve this problem for everybody, not just for one company.
For sure. And we're going to talk more about the solution to this mess in our next episode.